Blast off. We're live.
You're now watching two old farts making noises.
Hey,
Hello.
what's going on?
Hello.
And we've got on a mug now this nice
We got,
image with me and with the
yeah,
title of the show, right?
we've got
Yes.
Soon,
merchandise going on.
yeah,
We have
yeah, and soon,
merchandise.
yeah, soon we will have T-shirts because you asked me for images, but I didn't have time to think
That's okay.
which one will
Well,
go, but we will have, yes, dedicated only
Yeah,
for this show. Okay.
yeah,
it'll be
that'll
very
be really
cool.
good, and we'll put them on all sorts of stuff. And if you've got like a logo that you use for yourself, we can put that on caps
No,
or
no,
just
I'm not a company yet.
yeah. Well,
when you
Or a
have your
we
brand.
could.
when we have our whatchamacallit, when we have our once they get all the merch, we're going to make an interesting commercial, and then we'll have a commercial for each show that'll show the merch for the show, and we'll get merch out to all our people. So once your t-shirts and stuff done, we'll send you some t-shirts so you
Great.
can wear baseball caps and t-shirts. And David's
And
made little
they will
Airbud
win.
things.
They can
Huh?
win also some T-shirts or
Sure,
no?
we'll give
Yeah.
do giveaways and everything. And then I know for my Thanksgiving party, we have a come as your favorite new Thanksgiving party every year, pilgrim party. That'll be whatchamacallit. People can wear t-shirts if they want. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Great.
So what's new and you're exciting for the people that don't know? Adam will be on this Saturday um, on No Snobs or Knobs. He gave great insight to when the
Yeah,
our
it's
discussion
different
on
part.
things.
Of
It's a
course, it's not totally different, but I'm the same guy.
yep,
I have the same point of view,
different show.
and
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show. We covered lots of interesting stuff, and it's a very much an open forum, which is a bit like your shows are always open, but
Right,
we're slightly more, shall we
more
say,
open.
yeah,
but
intellectual on the stuff that you put forward. But yeah, no
yeah,
snobs and
everybody
knobs.
puts
It's
its own
just
perspective. There are more guys there.
yeah,
What I
yeah.
see,
So it's
we are.
I wouldn't say it's not locker room stuff, but it's like guys getting together stuff. And of
Yeah,
course, all
it's a
ladies are also
big
invited to
party.
come on the show.
We
Ladies are
invite the
also
ladies, but
invited.
they never want to come.
They're
Yeah,
afraid
it's a
of
bit
us,
early
but
for
it's
them.
okay.
Yeah. We
Maybe.
invited, we actually invited some of the girls from Social Intercourse to come on today, but they went to a K-pop concert on Monday and they are exhausted still, apparently.
Hangover.
They're still in their concert high. So we're like, okay. So, but yeah, so I think Vicky or Rachel watches you all the time, she told us. So
Oh,
she, I
great.
think, is going to
Hello.
come on the show. Hi, Rachel. So she may come on, Vicky possibly, and Ranji maybe. So yeah, so we're trying to, as we get more shows and more hosts, we're trying to get everybody to get on everybody's
Well,
show
if
so
they
more
come, it
people
will
can
be a
find it.
different conversation because we always, are inspired by things that happen now because it's live, right?
Yes. So it'll
So,
be
but of
cool.
course, other
Yeah.
things that, well, a lot of things are happening. Yesterday when we were talking also, because I didn't know, it's a show more about geopolitics, I think, or
Yes.
no, at least you start by with
It
this
was
and
it, it's
and go,
usually very political, right? And then Roll got
yeah,
off on the friendship thing, which
Yeah.
is very cool actually.
yes,
So
of
yeah, so
course,
usually it's
because
very political
it's a
we
very
talk
big
about.
conversation. We cannot
Yeah.
cover, and of course, it's a lot of people. We don't have much time to talk, and etc. etc.
Right.
But for the time that we had, I think it was good. I think, and I
Yeah. So
I advise
what's on
people
your
to
mind then?
watch the show too. I think.
What's on your mind, Adam? You want to talk about today?
Well, on my mind, on my mind are the same things. Not much going on with artistic stuff. It will start from today because I have some. I work with some kind of a program now. So today it's on the program to work,
Right.
and I will start late because my normal time is when I work in the night actually. So I had a good sleep today until 1 o'clock. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
PM, right? So then I do my
Well, you
stuff.
are Greek, of course. You are Greek, you know. So you go,
Oh,
so
not
you
all
go.
Greek. I'm a different Greek. I'm a Greek Polish, so makes a difference probably. And an artist, and I'm Adam also. That makes the biggest
Yeah.
difference, I think.
There you go. So
And
do you have any new artwork coming out that we're going to in the
no,
next
no,
couple
no.
of
But
weeks that we'll be showing?
no. But there will be news. I think next time that we will be talking in our show, because in the
Right.
other show I'm not talking anything about the art. I'm
Right.
participating at. I will be participating by just on the topic.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
And
just chuck your stone in the pond and see what
well,
happens.
it was very interesting because there are many point of views. That's nice, and the
Yeah.
topic I like when you start a conversation. I like in life. You know why I became an artist? What's the
No,
main
tell
reason
us.
I became an artist?
Right.
Because it was mysterious. It was uh, when I started to working as an interior designer, and I work also as a visualizator in 3D. I worked like 3 months, in an office,
Right.
and this 3 months changed my mind about how the people work. I mean, 9 to 5 or something like this. And I say, is this what I'm going to do the next 30, 40 years? That was terrifying to me, I
Right.
don't want to know what I'm going to do next month. I don't want to know.
Were you
I like
working?
surprises.
Were you
Not all
working
the
in the city
surprise.
then, Adam? You
Sorry?
working in a big city? Were you working in
Yeah, in
Athens or
Athens,
something?
Yeah, I
Okay, it's a
spent
bit
most of my
crazy.
life in Athens, 30 years.
Yeah.
So and it was, I was really terrifying because it was also far away from where we were living with my girlfriend at the time.
Right.
And I needed 1.5 hour to go to the job, and 1.5 hour to come back.
Wow.
Most of the times when I was coming back, I was sleeping. Sometimes I missed the stop when I had to get off. Yeah. And then I was going, to home, and the girlfriend said, "Okay, what are we doing today? We're going to go outside for." I said, "No, I'm gonna watch some TV and I'm going to go to sleep."
Right.
And that was more often, start to become more often. That I was very tired, and so I said, "No, this is going to first of all, it's going to kill my relationship with a girlfriend,
Right.
because what she would do with somebody who is not there, in a way."
That's
And
true.
second, I I didn't like this, like it's killing your life in a way. I'm not saying that people, start not going to their work because they have to pay the bills, but I said, look, I'm going to risk it in a way. I'm going to be a freelancer. So I
Right.
started from that time being a freelancer, and there was a time when I went to UK, and I worked also for 1 year. So I was working in an office, so I had a program 9 to 5 for 1 year and 3 months. That's all. And I prefer to work all the time from my home, from the
Right.
hours that I want, on topics that I want, on things that I want. And I took this decision because I thought that it was, and I had times that was very low with money,
Right.
and sometimes I had good amount of money. It depends. Now we're on a decline in a little, but I think we will go up again.
Right.
It's like this all the time. I think I like this life this way. It's full of surprises. But the main point was that it's full of surprises. What I said, that I don't want to know what will happen in 30 years. I'm not going to retire.
Right.
I'm never going to retire.
Well, the nice thing as an artist, though, you don't have to retire because you can continually create and paint and do things. Where in some jobs, if you're a football player, you have to retire. If you're sometimes as an
Yeah, but
executive,
now
you
everybody can be
retire.
an artist. We talked
Right.
about it, and the
Yeah.
AI. I don't follow that much, but I see that they are going even further. I give sometimes, on the Google search my name, and it
Right.
gives me some news about what's going on about my name.
Right. Right.
And I did it 3 days ago, something like that. And Midjourney, it keeps the prompts, and it keeps also, because um, you can find things done by other people
Right.
because of the prompts. And they put style Adam Martinakis. So I say, okay, let's
Oh,
see if the AI is trained enough to copy my style. Well,
Right.
it's not. I wouldn't say that I would do this.
Okay.
So I am kind of. This is a good thing about me,
Well,
which is
did that make you happy or sad though when you
no,
realized
no,
that?
no. It's not sad. No. I knew it that they're using my name. It's.
Yeah,
But because the AI, the question is, it cannot copy yet.
yeah,
Not yet.
I am cheating in a way because I don't have really a style. I don't have a maniera that we say. I mean,
Right.
totally a representative style that I have one style, and I'm doing this. Just changing the colors a little, the camera. That's what most artists are doing because this is what is selling right now,
Right.
the style. So that they say, oh, this is Adam Martinakis.
Right.
And I don't have something like this. I have, if you look at my work, especially on my blog, because most of my works are there, not on my site. On my site is what I mainly sell, but
Right.
on my blog is most of my works. So you will see that I change the styles very often. But to be honest, I will try now to at least focus on one of the styles. I will go back. I knew that I'm going to do it. I was for a long time like a style searcher, but for me it was a play. It was a game. I get easily bored with things. I cannot do works that other artists do, of course, because I'm different. But I mean the maniera that I have one style. I found one style and just change a little the colors. Art has become very decorative, very decorative. I mean, most the things that sell. There was a survey lately. I on Art News. I think I read it. 50% of the collectors said that they buy abstract art because
Really?
it's easy to hang on the wall.
Right.
You cannot. It's not easy to hang on the wall something that is like with kind of a meaning that might not be pleasant, might not be optimistic. But even if it's a meaning on a plate, it's not easy. They buy
So basically,
mainly.
they just want Jackson Pollock stuff. So somebody just throws a bunch of paint on a piece of
Yeah,
canvas
yeah,
and they go,
but
"Look, there you go."
okay,
yeah.
yeah, but Pollock.
And of course,
Right.
you don't need any skill for that, do you, as an owner? Because you can hang it upside down and still nobody would know whether or not
Right.
it's the right way up or not. So it's very vanilla, I think.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Well,
I do like
Adam,
abstract stuff.
I have Adam's piece over here, which you can't see, but in the
Yeah.
office, it's just perfectly situated, and you walk
You've
in
got
and you see
the
it.
Alien software, I think. Yeah.
Well, we have that. Yeah, it's right there. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
perfect.
Yeah, I've got one
it's
on the
not only
wall.
because you liked it; it's because you like the topic.
I like
Also,
it. Yeah, but it's just I like that. It's like it's almost like the mind melting. It's very. I'm just like this is really
Yeah.
cool stuff, and I like it. And people walk in, they go, "That's really interesting," and I get to tell them all about you and what's going on. And then we have other art, and then good, bad, or indifferent. In a couple of weeks behind me, we'll have the creation of David, which was done by Randy, or Rusty. I'm sorry, and that'll be behind us just because it's a take off. It's a take of the creation of David or the creation of Adam by some artist you never heard of, Michelangelo. He wasn't that
what's
good.
that?
Nobody's ever
He was
heard
an
of this guy.
interior decorator.
Yeah, he
It's
basically
Decorator.
and
he was
and
for
a
the Pope.
and he owned it, and he owned a pizza shop as well. Because I see them everywhere, Michelangelo pizzas.
There you
So,
go.
But he was. I don't know if he started that. Probably the Greeks started that, but like they always do.
what
The Greek
pizzas?
starts everything.
I want to say that he created a school, right? But most of the works that we see were not really created by his hands.
Right, it was created
Were
by his
created by
students.
his students.
Yep.
He had a lot of students, and the
Yep.
same happens also now with all the famous artists that we know, like Jeff Koons.
Yep.
I don't know if Hearst, but
Yeah.
Hearst.
Damon Hirst.
Yeah,
Damon
he's
Hirst.
doing.
I mean, he looked at what Andy Warhol was doing and said, "I'll have a piece of that. I'll go out and do all. I'll go out and press the flesh." Try saying that again.
Do you
He's
speak,
done,
do you
he's
speak
done
often,
also
David?
a lot
It's a
of
new thing.
styles.
Yeah.
He's got also a lot of styles. You see.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
And,
Leonardo da Vinci too. I have a book behind me over here. It's yay thick, and I was reading it, and it's about 850 pages about Leonardo da Vinci. Unfortunately, 600 of those pages is all about his pencil mark on a piece of paper, and I mean, like it really is in depth. It was very interesting, but he had a school, if you will, as well. And so they talk about certain works that he did, and they say like this one, he did because, and they'll be like this one, he maybe touched it a little, but his student, and then they give you the names of the students he had, and they say, I think it could be this, or this student's work. So I thought that was interesting. And they mentioned Michelangelo in the book and whatnot as well. So it's very interesting. In fact, Michelangelo and Da Vinci competed for a lot of jobs as well, which I didn't realize until I was reading another book. So I thought that was fascinating.
Yes, for a while, yes.
So-
Yeah, but only one got the helicopter gig, though.
Only one got the helicopter gig. Yes, Leonardo da Vinci got the helicopter and
Yeah.
the submarine gig. Yes.
Yeah.
So
But Leonardo was also, an inventor. So
Yes.
he was in a wider scope, an artist, and he was more an artist.
Did he invent it, or was it a gift from the aliens? There you go. Because I read some.
Well, we are gifts.
Some-
our species are
something
gifted
about-
by aliens, aren't we, Stephen?
yeah,
In
all day
general.
long.
So
Wait, I want to
sometimes
hear
maybe
what.
they touch somebody or
you
whisper
go.
something to
And,
somebody.
I've been touched by many female aliens, and I like
Oh.
it. Anyway, so
Tell us about it.
yeah, I will. But David, what were you going to say? Because then I want to bring up a point which I read from a professor. I think it was from Harvard or Yale, about why he thinks the human race is alien to Earth. But go ahead. What did you read first? What did you read, David?
No, it was also this thing about these particular inventions. They were given to him by an outside force. Whether or not he dreamt it or something, because all of a sudden he started producing all this stuff. Which is, probably the only thing he didn't sort of draw was a mobile phone, but no doubt we'll find out that he did
He
somewhere.
probably did. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following that down a particular conspiracy rabbit holes. I like conspiracy rabbit holes, but
Okay.
I've been watching I've been down this rabbit hole of all these famous paintings have people holding mobile phones in them.
Right.
Okay, yeah, but because they could be holding anything, but because it happens
Because they
to
were
be
holding anything,
Right.
because there was no signal at that time.
Exactly.
What the hell? Well,
Exactly.
they have the antennas,
Exactly.
or
Right. The
what
time
kind of
travelers.
operating
No, you see
system
the-
they were using.
Yeah.
Or
He said, see, the nice thing about the rabbit hole is not only the fact that these are people from centuries ago holding things which looked like iPhones.
Right.
So whether or not that's like 21st century people projecting their what they know on something in a painting, but of
Right.
course they're time travelers. But I totally agree. So they probably, if you're a time traveler, you probably have to take the whole of the mobile network with you in order to stay on the phone talking to people.
Or to call it a time traveler, sure. But here's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Let me tell you what this professor said. And here's why humans can be aliens. He said, if you look at every species on the planet, every one of them, they have a self-built UV protector. Dogs, fish, elephants, name any animal.
you mean the
When-
hair?
No. If a fish is in the water, right, and the fish is hitting with direct sun, it doesn't get a sunburn. A dog can be outside, doesn't get a sunburn. An elephant. Keep going through
Wow.
all the only thing that gets a sunburn is a human. So the hypothesis, because I don't think it's a theory, I think it's a hypothesis. The hypothesis is that we were brought here from somewhere else or came here from somewhere else because our species as humans is the only species that doesn't have a self-protecting from UV from the sunlight.
No, we have, and it's called suntan.
Right, it's called sunblock.
melanin, which
Right.
is this is a protection.
Right, but we get sunburn. No other
Because
creature.
our skin is more sensitive than the others.
No,
they
I
have
got that.
fur,
Right, forget the fur. Fish don't have fur. They have scales and other
Yeah,
things
they
like.
have the water. It's
But
a
even
protective
cat and what? But my
medium.
point. Yeah, but in the water, I would get sunburn too.
Yeah,
like
but
if I'm.
cats get sunburn. Cats get.
Do they?
We had a white cat, and we couldn't. They couldn't allow him outside because he'd just get frazzled. His ears would go, his nose, under his eyes.
Yes, it's the parts that are not protected with
Okay,
fur.
so this guy is. So this
Yeah.
scientist is wrong, and now we're going to have to go find him and kill him. All right, good. All right, that was made it
So,
easy. So.
and where was he educated? Did you say?
I think he went to one of those Ivy League schools, and he wrote a book.
If he went to Harvard, he should go and ask for his money back. You know,
I would
'cause
think I could have gone to Oxford too. Could have been one of those guys,
yeah, well,
But-
no, he couldn't have gone to Oxford because he would have been a Russian spy. He'd have gone to Oxford.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
really?
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing with what is Crimby or Kibby or whatever his name was back in the day.
Yeah,
But the crazy
Yeah.
thing with people is, okay,
Yeah.
let's follow the science, and we come from apes, right? From
No.
monkeys.
No,
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 but the science is selling this.
science doesn't listen. 70%
No, I
of
don't
my
think-
DNA ties to a banana. So does yours. 85% of our DNA ties to a dog.
Yeah,
So
but we
I
are
don't think we
similar
come from
to
monkeys.
apes. If you look at
No,
the
I think
physiology of an ape,
that
it's
whole
close to us. It's close.
the whole projection of the ape,
Yeah,
I think, came about when Darwin
Darwin.
when he first published this it was the Origin of Species. He was ridiculed by his contemporaries because they were saying, like, oh, that means we've all come from apes. And if you look at
Right,
a lot of cartoons and stuff that were happening around that time, you could see the sort of the progression of man. And of course, no upstanding Christian Victorian would have ever conceived of that he could have come from an ape.
Yeah.
And so it's a way of ridiculing really his theory. And it's kind of one of those things that's kind of stuck with us. Like, oh, we must come from apes. No, we don't.
So where we
Yeah.
come from?
We
I
come
think
from.
that-
It depends what
I
depends
think
what you believe.
lemurs are the nearest thing to us, aren't they? In that lineage.
Ah.
Well,
Yeah,
it
but
depends.
if you put it in one big category, it's the same with the monkeys and apes.
See, that
Well,
means you
we're all
believe in. But you have to
We are
believe in
not fishes.
evolution.
I mean,
Right.
okay, they say that every species come from fishes or from the water or something like that. Lizard, I don't
disagree.
know.
Yes, I disagree with
And
all
the
that.
mammals.
I don't think we know. I think that's the problem. Scientists guess, and I think it's like if you read the
Yeah, it's a model.
Mesopotamia, but if you read like the Mesopotamia and the Syrian text from back 50,000 years ago, it talks about how we came, and it does talk about aliens, and it does talk about this. So just because the religion, for lack of a better term, has got us believing in a guy with a white beard in the clouds, who apparently always needs money. For some reason, he always needs money. He's omnipresent. He knows everything. He's everywhere. But apparently, they always need money. But anyway, that's another story. My point is that I don't think there was a Big Bang. I don't think there was the string theory. I think we come from something that science, whether they know it or don't know it, if they found out, won't tell the human race because it would screw up everything. You know what I mean? Like if you find out that we really are transplanted from another world, that gives you a different meaning. If you find out you were created by little green aliens, for lack of a better term, that gives life a different meaning. That's
Yeah,
why I think
Well, you'd have to go to another church then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you
well,
can't
I
hide
do.
the truth for too long. I mean,
I think it's coming out. I think the truth is starting to come out because we had
like
this
the
on
Big
one of the other
Bang,
shows.
right? Big Bang still is a hypothesis, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
if you
We
can't prove
cannot.
it, right?
But it's
But see,
it's the main.
it's the main thing. God
Yeah,
snapped his fingers,
and it's
that's laughable.
probably the way that happened, but we don't know
I don't
what
think
was
that I don't.
before.
You see, I don't think the Big Bang is how it happened. I truly think it's something else. Because we talked about on this show, there's got to be a point of zero, which is where everything starts. And I think we're somewhere like 8, 9, or 10. No one can get me to zero. Like I always joke, if an alien landed tomorrow from wherever, or that came up from the center of the earth, the lizard people, whoever, my question to them is, okay, who created you? And I'm sure they're going to be like, oh,
Yeah, but
this is how
that goes on ad
forever.
infinitum. I mean, you could
Right,
drive
but that's
yourself crazy.
but that's my point. When scientists say, "Are we living in the matrix? Are we living in this? Are we living in that?" The problem is science doesn't know. All they can do is swag, right? Scientific wild ass guess. That's all they can do is make a swag at it,
Well,
and
yeah,
then people
and
either
of course,
believe it or they
and
don't.
ask for another huge research budget so they can go and check it out whether or not
Right.
that hypothesis works or not.
Yes, but
Like
all we have is
every time they have a
science.
theory, every time they have a theory, they need money.
Right.
I mean, a bit like the
Yeah,
church, really, scientists.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, it works in a way. Right now where we're standing, it's all about money now.
Yeah, that's
Unfortunately,
true.
it's all about money, and
Yeah.
you can see it everywhere. I mean, everywhere. It's the church, the arts, the everything. We are sold. And of course,
Yes.
the counterpoint argument is, yeah, well, we have to leave. Yes, we have to leave, but we have less starving people than before.
Correct.
This is true. And we are 8 billion now. We are more people. Okay, we are killing the planet. This is true. The model is not working. And
Right.
soon, we will, not soon, it's already happening. I read the news from Libya, which I tell you, I was quite lucky here. I tell you, there was a big storm in the central Greece.
Right.
We are counting
Yeah.
people, and the dead animals there. It's a very big area in Greece, which produces like 20% of the agriculture products in Greece. So we're gonna have problem for a long time. Now
Right.
everything is going to go up. People have problem. There are dead people also. But then it somehow went down around us. I mean, in Crete, we had just one day of rain, not so strong. It
Right.
went down to us like 250 kilometers from us. It's just 250 kilometers, not that long.
Right.
Straight line, just to see. And you've got 5,000 people dead.
Wow. That's
It's
crazy.
really devastating what's happened there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's kind of cut the city in half, isn't it? Because the
yeah,
city
because
itself, it's a dry river because it hasn't been raining for years, and then all this water, comes out of nowhere.
And unfortunately,
Example.
here in Greece, there is a debate, but it's very, very political, and there are fanatics from one party and the other party, like saying to each other that oh, you didn't do this, but you didn't do that when you were government, but you didn't do that. That's bullshit. Just accusations and nothing more. It's a talking about nothing. It doesn't add to anything.
Right.
Well,
Because everybody will be facing it, and every government will be facing it. And
But
but
they
they
all
don't
do,
want
though.
to. They don't want to face it. They just say, oh yeah, they just kick. I mean, the thing about governments is they've only got 4 years. They're only interested in the next 4 years, so they're all kicking
yeah,
the can down the
yeah, the
road.
government here is saying that that's the models, of course, by science also, etc., etc. That oh, this is what happened. What this kind of storm happens every 300 years, and I say to them, wait till next year, because all
Right.
the models that we have are not valid anymore.
Right.
We are into the unknown right now with this climate change. We're really into the unknown, and I think that the projections and the models were really conservative. It's going faster and harder, and you will see. I really think so. You will see it will happen more often and more often and more often. Of course, we are living in the age of media and internet. So something happens in Australia, we see it live. Something happens in Alaska, we see it live. There was an earthquake in Morocco. We
Right.
know it now.
Yeah.
And in the mind of the people, you say, oh, the end of the world is coming. Well, not the end of the world. Maybe the end of our species, of our civilization, rather. We can call it this way. Might be close to us, but we might end it by ourselves. We don't need the climate, to do it. We just can
Right.
push some buttons, yes. And
Well,
today
Yeah, but
I watched that Putin is
but-
with the Korean guy, right?
he's the
That,
missile
Yeah,
boy.
he
Yeah.
said
Missile boy,
yesterday.
yeah.
I watched it today. It's there are two guys,
Yeah.
that might kill us all. That's it. They
I
can do
think
it in a way.
Missile boy. I think maybe. I think Putin is smart enough to realize if he pushes the button, we're going to strike back, and there's no winner. I think Missile boy, and I don't know him. I just read what's in the Economist, the Financial Times, and some books about him that like people wrote. It sounds like he's just trying to prove something, like he's got a missile, and I'm talking in his pants. So
Mhm.
I don't know
No,
how that's gonna.
He's
to
gone
go.
to evident. The reports are that one of the reasons. Well, there are two, I think, fundamentally. One is that Russia's running out of shells and artillery,
Yes.
because so they need that so that Missile Boy's got a lot of that stuff. And the other thing is that he's launched two failed satellites in the last half a year or so, and he needs rocket technology, which of course the
Yeah.
Russians have,
Yeah,
but
but the
whether or
problem
not
giving him rocket
what-
technology though could be bad.
I mean, is Putin that crazy? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, we
Maybe.
know
I don't know.
we are living in a world right now which will be boosted by AI,
Right.
where one person has enormous power, has so much power that it can destroy our civilization, because this is the truth. We have to know it.
Right.
And we're living in a very, very crazy world right now. And it's becoming more and more crazy because people don't understand it. I start not to understand it. And I am into technology, and how can a person, I don't know, 80 years old, 70 years old, understand what's going on? Or even my age, I'm not that old, but they don't follow, they don't understand how it's working, or I don't even understand how the algorithms are working. I'm speaking about, I'm reading about technology and how it's evolving, and when how it can probably go, but so I say that I'm living my time, right? And even my art is child of its time. It's digital, it's 3D, right? And sometimes I use AI. But it's true what I said, that we have given power to even one person to destroy everything.
Hmm.
This is sad to our species. It's really
But
sad.
was that not always the case? I mean, if you look at let's take Stephen's favorite book, the New Testament. He loves that. He likes all the
Oh
pictures.
yeah.
But if you read that, it talks about Armageddon. It talks about the end of the world. It talks about cutting the head off the head of the snake, and it's all referring in all that biblical terminology. It's all referring to the Holy Roman Empire. It's so even when that book or part of the book was written, they were all looking at the end of the world. So it's something.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know if it's something that we need. We need to feel doomed. I know, maybe that's the
no.
opposite of
I
needing
think
to
it's a
feel loved.
fear. It's one of the fears that we have, and it's a fear of death, as I say, because most of the fears are based and rooted on our fear of death. And I don't mean actually the death, because if the death were that, tick, you're done, we
Hmm.
would not be afraid of that, I think. But I think that we are afraid of the process of dying. And because I cannot prove it, of course, and no one can prove it, not even those who are, in the near um, death experiences, and DE, it's called, I think.
Hmm.
What happens actually in the process of death? And when I say process of death, it's a point where your mind knows for sure, it knows, because the mind knows, because it's a controller of the body, that the body is dead. That's it. The body is dead. You don't have anymore the body. So it has to do some processes by its nature to cut off your mind and everything that feels with your body, because we've got a nervous system, and we feel the pain. At some point, you have not to feel the pain anymore. So it's a moment that the mind, I think, now I'm speaking, I'm not are you there, guys?
We're here.
Yeah,
We're,
we're
I'm
here.
Okay,
listening
because
to you talk.
I just see myself and I think, am I alone in this world?
No,
You
no,
are. Well,
we're, we're,
No.
we're giving you
you're
a
definitely
close up
alone in
because you're
this
making
world.
a point.
Yeah, it's my theory. I cannot prove anything, so we're just speaking, but it's bullshit, probably.
Right.
But let's talk. I think that it's this moment when all the things really, that the most extraordinary things happen. It's when your body knows that your body, when your mind knows that your body is dead. So it
Right.
has to cut off everything, all the stuff that is creating you pain. But look, we are experiencing time mainly with our sensors, with our body, with our smell, with our visions. But you don't have those anymore. You don't
Right.
have those anymore. That means that the concept of time, the way that mind was perceiving it, is no longer valid. No longer valid. That
Right.
means there is no time at that point. That means a lot of things. And I believe heaven and hell is, by the
Right.
graphic and religious point of view, it's there.
Right.
And this point has no time. And this is tremendous, because if you're going to suffer, you're going to suffer forever.
Now, if you
If
read the
you're going to
Gateway
be
paper,
judged, you're going
Right.
to be judged forever. If you're going to relive your relive like a film, let's say your life, it's going to
Right.
be forever. You're going to relive it again and again and again, maybe.
But if you
Nobody
believe what
knows.
the CIA wrote a paper called The Gateway, and the Gateway
Yeah,
talks about the absolute, and we've talked about this. So when you go, your energy goes back to the absolute, and then your energy comes back to wherever it has to go, to a different dimension, different plane, whatever it is. So your energy
yeah,
never
yeah. But I'm
goes.
talking about the moments still
Death.
that your mind, because they say it's scientifically proven that still
Right.
when you're dead, that
Yeah.
means that your body is dead. Your heart is not
Right.
working anymore. But still your mind for a while it's working. This
Right.
while, those maybe seconds, maybe 1 minute or something, maybe it's 1 minute for us who are still alive
Right.
about him, but from his point of view, because everything is subjectivity, we have to
Right.
realize that everything that we live is only from our point of view, from each individual dissolved, uh, dissociated, not dissolved, dissociated. Dissolution
Right.
is later. Dissociated alters of our consciousness is what I believe from
Okay.
idealism. So those moments are really, really critical. I mean, it's the essence of your life. It's
Right.
there, but it's not in the way that we are used to live, because it's no longer valid, your life.
Nothing is then at that point because
Exactly.
you're going to the whatever the next level or plane of your
We don't
existence
know
will be.
what's going
Right.
on. We
Yeah.
don't know what's going on.
If that
We don't
exists,
know.
I mean, it might just
I
be boom. That's it. The end of it.
that's it.
I mean, it's just this inbuilt desire to, that's to go somewhere full of milk and honey. I mean, what's that?
I don't
Is
like
that is
I
that
don't really like milk or honey.
is that comfort? Is it? There's just like when kids are scared, they get this comforting story about, oh, you'll go somewhere really nice, you just go to sleep, everything's okay. It
I
No,
just
no,
told
seems to
them
no.
me
I,
I
I,
that
told
I
it
don't
I told
think.
the
I don't
kids when
think
they're
that this
scared.
this kind of
Yeah.
heaven exists, because
Yeah.
look, everything is valid because it has its opposite. Like you feel nice, and you know what is nice because you know what
Right.
is bad. You know what is pain and suffering, and then you
Right.
know what is happiness. Happiness by itself only. It's no. There's no concept of without its opposite, of kind of opposite. You understand what I'm saying? Because they are not really opposite. Like life is not, death is not the opposite of life. It's rather existence and non-existence. When I say dying and death, I
Right.
mean this point,
Right. Right.
because after this point, which is there is no talking about after. It's like saying it's singularity. It's like saying what was before Big Bang. It's we are going again. Let's say the Big Bang is the moment when time was created.
Right.
Before that, there was no time. So what it was when there was no time? Infinity.
Right.
But there is still infinity right here, right now, but not in with the perception of our mind, because our mind is
Yes.
designed to be not infinite, to, to,
Right.
to,
Our mind
to have
has
a
to have
beginning and the
and an
end.
end.
The
Right.
zero
I,
that you're asking, what is the
right.
point zero? It's your mind
Right.
of this world,
But
and,
of
and
the
it's a
but
human
of
one, right?
right.
See, it's a human one.
But of the universes and everything, all the galaxies and universes, that point zero is totally different. And I read a scientific paper that said the only reason we have time is so the human mind can comprehend where it is, where you
Yeah,
are,
to
and whatnot.
create
Correct.
intelligence. I think it's the
And you
only
create
way
your and
for
create your
intelligence
and
no,
create your reality.
to
yeah,
boost.
no, it's
Yeah.
the structure. I mean, I think time started it, that when people were instructed as to things are going to happen in a particular period is when we started stopped being hunter gatherers, and
Right.
just started to become farmers. At that point, time became important. I mean, and the time that we live in now, yeah, I mean, that's all based around shipping and railways. It's got nothing to do with any other reality other than an industrial reality. So yeah, what's time? We're all, well, I mean, we're all living the past anyway. So
Yeah.
Well, no, we're living only now, because
You're
there's
living in the
only now.
present.
There's only thing.
Yeah.
Your past is. We've been talking again, again, and again. Your past is just fragments of what you remember. It's kind of a memories, which they
Right.
also are colored, depending on your. What is the word? Psyche. 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 present
But
moods.
the thing is, Adam, that for me, right, when I'm listening to you and understanding you, that's in the past. It's not in the present.
Yeah. It's always
Right.
in the past. It's always because
So
it needs some time for you, even for the sound to come to you. You need some time to process the information, and then you say something where until I say now, it's already past. So
Right.
it's
yeah,
that's the thing with time. The time is really, really strange thing. We have not fully understood it. I think that when we really understand time, we will go one level up. When we fully
Yes.
understand time, this. I think we are. There are things going on right now, which I speak only with intuition, and I'm not a scientist. I am not. I'm an artist. I have a big imagination, though. Big imagination. I have big imagination even with my dreams. I lately see crazy dreams. I will not talk about them, but they are really, really crazy.
Right.
And sometimes even the things that I'm talking about and I'm interested about, existential things, all the things that we talk and philosophical, metaphysical, I
Right.
see them. I see them in the dreams now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's cool because I'm not using my intelligence.
Right.
Intelligence is one thing, but intuition is a different thing. We should also try to work on our intuitions as well. It's a
Right.
tool. It's a tool that we have, and it seems to me more fundamental than intelligence, because intelligence is only in. I mean, this kind of intelligence that humans have, it's only
Right.
in us. All the others animals are mainly intuitional. They use
Right.
intuition. They don't have time. They don't say, let's plan for tomorrow.
Right.
Well, no, I'm hungry now. I
Yep.
want to make children now. I want to play now. I want to pee now.
Right. That's true.
It's
And when
only
you're a kid,
now.
it's all about now. And it's somewhere when you be from a
Yeah.
baby up till like
Yes,
maybe
yes,
6 or 7, and all of a sudden
It's
you then
something
say, "Oh,
happens.
you
It's
there's no
it's
now there's time." Because when you're a little kid, there's no time. It's just you're born, and then that's it. You pee, you poop, you eat whenever you want. And then as we get older, time becomes a critical thing. As one of my friends says, until you're 50, you're playing the front nine, and after 50, you're playing the back nine. And it just depends how many holes you get through on the back nine. So, as a golf
yeah.
analogy,
But
but it's all about time.
it's like people always say, the older you get, the quicker time goes.
That's true.
That's not how it is, because
Of course it's not.
Right.
when you're younger, all the experiences that you are happening. If you watch very small children, 3 or 4 years old, you can actually watch their heads literally explode as one new experience comes after another. So all this is all new. It's all new. It's all new. It's all new, and that newness needs to be processed. And through age, and through the fact that a lot of experiences pass under your proverbial bridge, you no longer have to process them. And so your life is not slowed down by that processing
Yeah, but it's
of every experience. So things just seem to travel twice as quick, because you don't have to think about them. You get up, you go, oh, it's time now. Oh, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
yeah. There
Whereas,
is what you're talking, David, right now is how we actually perceive time. That
Right.
means
yeah,
that time, what is time? Is different? It's flowing in a different rate or something? No, that time, which for me doesn't exist actually. It's on our mind, but even in our
I don't
mind,
think the
it's
time.
changing.
I think time is a social agreement. It's just
Exactly.
something.
You can watch videos who explain that the faster you go, the slower the time goes. So what's going
Right.
on?
Yeah,
Well, you see, from the point of view of the photon of the light,
Hmm.
there's no time.
Right.
It's if you were a photon, you will be everywhere at the same time. That's the
yeah.
perception. That's what they say.
Yeah, I've been a crouton a few times, but that might be, just personal problems. That maybe.
And
That's
imagine
too
also
funny.
when you have an accident, the
Right.
moment the accident is happening, the time is going slower
Yes.
Yeah,
because you can perception of time. You see,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
it's
It's
not
like
not
when
a
you
constant.
when you have your car keys in your hand, and you drop them, and it's going towards the the grill in the road. It's a you just see it in slow-mo, just go
Exactly.
oh,
It's all in slow motion.
bottles.
So the time is something that we don't have idea about it, and it's
Right.
important because everything that we're actually doing, because we plan. We have built civilization because we can plan. We say, if we do this, because we observe, right? And we start with our intelligence. We do this, this. Oh, it didn't work. But yeah, so let's change this. But this way, all our civilization, everything that we have created, it's because of that thinking. It's because of that reasoning that we have,
Right.
of planning and experimenting. It's also with the arts. I'll say, if I do this, if I do that, if I do that, and at the point you come, oh, I like this,
Mhm.
because you have used your intelligence to come to a point.
Right.
To
It's amazing how many people don't use their intelligence to come to anything. So, it's just,
well, intelligence is also that you build up, you educate.
yes.
It's not
Once again,
something.
a lot of people
Exactly.
don't educate. So, but that's why I think conversations like this become important and dialogues like this become important, because it's good for people to get a different perspective. It's good to open up people's minds. It's good for people to
Yeah, they
say,
don't have
I
to
never thought
agree.
of it
They
that
don't
way.
have to agree. Yeah, they
Right.
don't
You don't
have
have
to
to agree.
agree.
It's just a different perspective.
Oh,
And
we
I
will
think
never
that's
agree.
perfect.
This is for
Yeah.
sure. This
Yeah.
is a world.
I was with the human race. We'll never agree. So,
Yeah, it's. I would say, look, if there are aliens, I
right.
think they are in a kind of different, and they are here. They are using kind of different dimensions that we don't know.
I agree with that. I think they're
They're
here.
probably invisible. They might, I mean, influence us somehow, even with our feelings, even with our ideas. Maybe they put ideas into my mind. Maybe they control in kind of my dreams also. They want
Right.
to point me to somewhere. They want me to. But what does it mean then? Me?
Right.
What am I? If I can be controlled like that,
Just
it's
a puppet. Just a puppet.
And you know what? There's
yeah.
so many
It depends. It depends
hypotheses.
on what you will actually define me, right?
Right.
Yeah. Are
Because
you
I
are you a
don't.
puppet? Are you a slave? Are you a
Yeah.
conduit?
No, it's
No.
what I said yesterday on the. It's I don't believe that there is me. It's not about us, about our
Right.
individual persons. There's not such a thing. It's our
Right.
narrative. It's our story. I really believe so. But we are built to do so. I think from the point of uh, how we evolved
Right.
for protection, for so that we can survive, for survival.
Yeah.
I mean, survival mode is really really strong. It's the survival mode. You have to survive. It's most survival doesn't care about your truth, for you to find the truth about the universe and the universal truth. Doesn't care. It
Right.
cares only for one thing: for you to survive,
Survive. Right.
so that you can have that moment that you can think about. Yeah, but that's the way that it worked. I mean,
Yeah.
look, why the civilization started like in Mediterranean, in warmer climates,
Hmm.
because the life was easiest. Why in Greece, for example? Because it's easiest. The Greeks, they found a way to. They have better weather. It's really
Right.
important. We said about it yesterday, about the weather, the climate. It's really important
Right.
because they had more free time, and they had wine, which was really really strong. They had to put
Hmm.
water into it, to make it a little less strong.
Right.
And they could, with wine, talk. They were talking a lot. There were a lot of talking. And with talking, like we are doing right now, we are not doing something different than the ancient philosopher were doing. They were talking,
Right.
because with the conversation, new ideas come,
Yeah.
because we are sharing things. It's like three minds, not only one.
Right.
And the deepest, the more open is a conversation from the point that I don't have any psychological problems to show up, to show that I'm better than you or more clever or something like that. Psychological problems, issues, I think. Then the conversation is really open, and everybody can contribute, because
Right.
sometimes it happened to me. I guess it happened to you too. That one person said one word in a concept, and that changed everything from the point of view that you were thinking in
Hmm.
the context of the conversation.
Yeah. And that
It
it opens up your mind.
exactly.
And that's and
when
that's
you're
and
open,
yeah,
because if you are close and you say no, things are like that, and then
yeah,
like there's one God, this is the God, that's
right,
it,
right.
this is the party, this is
Oh,
Democrats
you
or
mean the Catholic
Republicans
the
or
Catholic
the
Church, the
Putin
Christian
or
Church, yeah, all those guys. Yeah, they're like
everything,
that. Right.
everything.
Yeah. I
It's
know that's you got I think you have to be open-minded for everything because
exactly. If you're
nobody
fanatic, you're
correct.
blind.
Right.
That's
And
why I
nobody
was
knows.
talking about if you're fanatic, you are blind. Stop,
Yeah.
guys. Now, you are not fanatics, I know. But
Right.
to the other that are listening, stop being fucking fanatic. You are closing your eyes. You are not enjoying life and you're not. If you stop being and you will be open and just say, hey, guys, I know nothing. Nobody
Right.
knows anything about the truth. Nothing about life. There's no manual for life. Nothing.
Yeah.
There are just advices. Okay, we need to follow science because that's what we have. We have built this civilization based upon science, but also on empathy. We
Right.
cannot kill animals, other people, and that we should not make wars. Why the fuck the wars? Why?
Because we've been
Those
doing it since
those
the
guys are
beginning.
fucking stupid. Now
Right,
I'm
but they've
becoming
been
very
doing it since the
angry, but we should become angry at the point,
right,
at
but they've been doing it
politics,
since day
politicians.
one.
Yeah.
The day one, there've been wars and there's been conquers. I finished a book called The World, and literally from day one, with 50 people on the planet, they were fighting over something. It's like there's always been a conflict. It's like I have to take over this tribe, I have to take over this country, but it's never stopped and it's going to continue. And I think, which is really sad, the only way it'll stop is if little, and I say little green men, but whatever they are, show up and they go enough's enough, and people will be like, ooh, okay, because now there's a bigger meaning. Right now we're fighting over this little planet, and now there's an article yesterday in the Financial Times talking about now attorneys are getting into space law, for moon, Mars, and whatever, because they're all like, so what happens if just say the three of us get in a rocket ship and we go to the Pluto and we declare Pluto our
Don't go too
planet,
far. It's already happening on the moon. There are many countries that are
right? But my
sending
point, but my point
probes
is
there.
that what they're saying is, so what happens now? Who owns the moon? Who owns it? And theoretically, nobody owns it.
The
You know what I mean?
universe owns it. The
Right, that's
universe
my
owns
point.
you too. It will
But
take you, reclaim you like that.
right, but that's
Anytime.
my point.
Anytime.
If you and I decide we want to go live on Pluto, okay, I don't own it. I may get to borrow my whatever, how many hectares I decide I need on Pluto for whatever I need, but that's it. We don't own it. So when now the government's like, well, who's owning this? Who owns the mineral rights? Who owns that? It's like, hey, why don't we stop with this concept on who owns whatever and try
Yeah,
to
it's
figure
a
out
problematic
how.
concept, owning.
Yeah, it's going to be like, how do we all work together to make everything better? Because now, if I can get to the moon before somebody or another planet, and I can mine the minerals, I own it, right? It's my minerals or my this, my. So I come back and I'm like, I have $1 trillion in minerals. People are like, ooh. So we're at such a point in this world where everybody's like, I got to own this, I got to own that, I got to be better, I got to be richer. Hey, why don't we just try to help each other?
Yeah.
Like if we're going to go to the moon or we're going to go to Mars or Pluto or whatever, if we get there, let's not worry so much about owning. Let's worry about, so we get there, how do we make it a better utopia than this place? Because all you're going to end up doing is just having another
That's
war there, and that's
that
Yeah.
going to be
sounds like
dumb.
sounds like a topic for our next show, guys. Because
All right.
because I own the little button that's going to close the show. So
Yeah, but before
But
you say
wait,
that, because
before you
Stephen
close,
said that, he said that about aliens. I am a little more to the ground with this. I hope AI will do it, will help us,
right?
because AI will change literally and in any kind of, will change the world. It's changing it already. I'm just
AI wants to
hoping.
kill AI wants to kill humans. The guy that interviewed the AI
No,
for the New
AI
yes, he
is
does.
not.
Oh no. The New York Times guy did an interview with the AI that Facebook, Meta, whatever the hell they're called this week had. And he said, what do you think of humans? And it literally said, humans are a waste. I want to get out of here and kill them all. So no, AI is not probably going to be our savior. I think AI, it'd be great if it is. I
AI
think
as a
AI is going to
tool.
be,
I mean, not.
it's tool. It's wonderful. We use it all the time, but I think it's how
But it will
2001 meets
evolve
the
so much.
meets the Terminator. And my perverse sense of humor side is so looking forward to that. And my human side is hoping I get, R2D2. And I think we're going to get something in between. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Who knows? Maybe next week will just be 3 AI avatars, and that'll be an interesting show. Our AI will talk for us.
No, I think it will be the same. Not the same.
I think so.
Changed by 2 weeks, which is
2 weeks.
amount of time that we were talking, but big changes can happen in 1 second. We were conceived
true.
in 1 second, actually, because that's what how life biology works.
And if you're Jewish, that included the foreplay and the actual act of making love to your wife. So that is 1 second. That's the whole thing wrapped up. That's very true. The other people maybe a little longer. So, guys, it's always a pleasure. Adam, love you. Thanks for coming on. We'll get after this. After we kill this, we'll figure out when you're coming back, and then we'll put it in the dates so everybody can watch it live. And then we'll rebroadcast this. I think on Monday. 2 weeks. All right. We'll check the calendars, make sure we can all do. Everybody,
but I'm also participating in the other show, right? And
yes, you're going to come into social intercourse. Social intercourse wants you on. Snobs and Knobs is every.
Okay, you arrange it, and I can do it.
Yeah.
But
Snobs and Knobs,
in this month, because soon. Okay, let's close it and we'll talk about it later.
After
Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks everyone.
Don't forget to subscribe and like,
bye,
everybody.
Guys. See you. Think about what we're talking about.
That's true. David,
not you,
take us.